So, have you ever wondered how you became fluent in English? Do you think it just happened one day? Do you think it was a miracle? Do you think it was magic? And probably not. You're probably thinking, like, well, that was the language that my parents taught me, or that was the language that I was surrounded by, or that was the language that I learned at school. And guys, if you're probably learning a second language like Spanish or French, you have this question in your head. So, why can I just learn in the same way I did it as a kid? Hola chicos, soy Dania y bienvenidos otra vez a Spanish 55. So how can you make that second language so smooth in your head that you can just go from one to the other just easily without thinking? You want to think in the second language. You want to dream in the second language. And I'm going to tell you how in this video. So if you're asking yourself, and you already answered this question before, and you said well, that was the language that I was exposed to. And that's the key, guys. You are going to become fluent in a second language with two things: exposure and effort. If you miss one or the other, it's not going to happen. ¿Tienen idea del esfuerzo que requiere tener una suficiente exposición a un idioma que no está a tu alrededor 24/7? Guys, it's not easy, y mucho menos dominarlo lo suficiente para leer, escribir, hablar, viajar, hacer amigos, ser profesora, etc. No es tan fácil, but it is possible. So let's talk about the exposure to English versus Spanish. And this is very important for you to understand. Think about how much English you encounter daily. It's basically everywhere. You talk to your family in that language. You talk to your girlfriend, to your boyfriend. To everyone around you speaks that language. You go to the corner store or you go to the supermarket and they're going to be talking that language. You turn on the TV, English again. And here comes the problem, because if you're learning Spanish, probably that's why you're here, you have to make an effort to invite it into your environment. And that's a fact. And guys, here is probably where people get stuck. Why? Because they assume Spanish should feel as effortless as English did, but the reality is that you have to create that same level of exposure or that same level of language around you. You can do it through music, podcast, TV, and even following Spanish-speaking creators. Y oye, no es tan difícil. It's not that hard. We have phones right now. We have a lot of social media right now. So if you start following people who speak Spanish, well, how many hours a day are you actually on your phone? That's a great level of exposure. But probably you're not doing it because you think it's it's better if I just read it in English or in my first language. But well, there you go. You're not making that effort. And guys, I'm not telling you that you just have to turn everything around you like in Spanish. No, it's not going to be like that. But the amount of hours that you dedicate to that exposure is going to be the progress that you're going to have at the end. So it's actually going to be rewarding. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be rewarding at the end. And that's when you have to think about your goal. If you're learning Spanish right now, it's because you have a goal, right? So you say it's because I want to communicate in Spanish when I travel. Well, that's your goal. So everything that you're saying no, I don't want to do this, just think about that. Think about that goal, and it's gonna help you a lot. And guys, so far we have talked about two things: the language learning versus the language acquisition. And I have already talked about them. Maybe you didn't realize, but I did talk about them because you answered the question. That was the language that I was exposed to when I was a kid. So that was language acquisition. And language learning is going to be what you do every day to learn it. One is passive, one is active. And this is the secret. You have to combine both. First, exposure, and the second, you have to make the effort to learning. You have to start learning it on your own as an active learner. So guys, as a summary, first thing, you have to be proactive. Create an environment full of Spanish. Music, creators, conversations. El número dos, effort matters. Learning takes time, but every step gets you closer to fluent. And the third one, recognize your potential. If you're fluent in English, you already know you can learn a language. So easy as that. And this is for all of my active learners. I'm going to send you to check out Spanish 55 for coaching tailored to your goals. And subscribe to our podcast, Conquering Spanish, for more tips and motivation. So guys, learning Spanish isn't all about the language. is about discovering a new whole world. And you can get a lot of stuff from it, which is nice. So thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit like button and subscribe to our channel. Nos vemos hasta la próxima. Hasta luego, amigos.